What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to make another quick video solving another coding problem on Code Signal. So on this problem, what it's saying is you have basically a sequence S that's going to be a string, like this string down here, the 01101, and this string is going to generate other binary strings. So these are the output of our program. So the way that it generates those strings is that it'll look at the zeros and it'll replace those zeros first, like one at a time, and then replace both of them together. So you can see this is the original string, so it also returns the original. And then this is the original string with a 1 here instead of a 0. This is the original string with a 1 here instead of a 0. And then this is the original string with both of the zeros turned into ones. So I have a couple ways of solving this. I kind of talked to a few people, and one of the best ways that I was told was basically see how many zeros there are and build an array of those zeros, and then increment the ones through that array. So that would look something like, so first you'd have, yeah, sorry guys, let me get a new blank slate here. Alright, so that looks something like, you'd have your array of 0, 0, like that, and then what you do is you create basically a new array with still the 0, 0, and then you'd also have a 0, 1, and you kind of go through that array like that. So like a 1, 0, and then 1, 1, right? And that would be how you create the things to replace the zeros in the first array. And then you just take these one at a time and shove them back into the first string, and you print the answer, and that's it. Alright, so I didn't have a lot of time to kind of make this video, and I'm trying to do a video every day, so I need to get the videos out. So instead I'm just going to do like a walkthrough of the code that I made for here. Alright, so our function is going to be binary generator. It's going to take the string S, and then the indexes are the indexes of the original string. So for here it'd be 0 and 3 that have these zeros. And then, so we're going to store those in an array. So this array is going to look like 0, 3. Then the answer, we're just going to go ahead and declare that. And then the intermediate is like what I just showed you, with the sets of numbers that are going to be shoved back into the string. Alright, so the first thing we do is store the positions of the zeros. So that's the indexes. So we're going to fill the indexes array by having a for loop and looping through the original string. We're going to use the char@ method of JavaScript. So if the char@ the position in the string is a 0, then we're going to push that position or that index to the indexes array. So at the end we'll have the indexes of all the zeros in the string. So next what we're going to do is we're going to basically this is what kind of makes this code here pretty cool, I think, is we're going to find the largest number that can be represented in binary by the length of the string that we're given. But hold on, so not the string that we're given, but the intermediates. So maybe pause for a second and look at this function and see for yourself that what this does is it if your intermediate was say 0, 0, 0, like if that was one of your intermediates, then this would create the string 1, 1, 1. So it creates the largest string, like a series of ones, the largest string that can be made for your length of intermediate. So then next, now that we have that, we're going to loop through the intermediate. Like this is basically where our answers get created. So we're going to push answers to an array, alright, through this function. Now what it's going to do is we'll use the length of our intermediates because that's how many answers we have. Remember the intermediate looks something like an array of these guys, like 0, 0, 0, 1, remember? Like 1, 1, right? So however many of those there are, that's how many things we need to shove back into the original string to get how many answers we need. So we'll loop through the length of that, and then we'll create a temp string with, it'll just be the null string, okay? And then we'll need this variable j. You'll see why in a minute. Alright, and then for each of the characters in the original string, we're going to say, is that character already a 1? If so, just push a 1 to the temp string. Else, push the character of the intermediate string at that position. So for I is 0, we're going to use the first intermediate. And then we'll push the character at the character at j, and then we'll increment j. So we'll go back into the for loop, and we'll look at the next thing. We'll look at the next character, and then we'll increment again. So we'll kind of do that, and then the answer will get pushed, right? And then we'll do that for each of the intermediates so that at the end we have the total amount that we need. And then we'll just return the answer, right? So I know this is pretty complicated code here for this simple basic function, and this was just kind of the first pass at it. So on the next video, I'll make a way easier method of solving this problem. So this is kind of like a naive approach of doing this, but we'll use bitwise manipulation to solve this next. So I'll just show you guys that this code works. I'll run the sample tests. Shoot, I would have to have an internet connection for that. Well, take my word for it. I showed you guys kind of at the beginning. I had the test pulled up. But, alright, in the next video, we'll look at the other method of doing this. Thanks for watching. Please comment if you have another way of doing this problem. Thanks, and